How's it going, guys? I hope you guys had a great week. So I'm back today with a video. Sorry it's been a while, guys. I basically just got completely lost in Expedition 33, 100% in that game. I am currently working on a review of it, I promise, but I just haven't had the time to sit down and get a script written out. But it will be coming probably, as I do have next week completely off work, so I'm going to try and work on it. But today I'm not here to talk about Expedition 33. I am here to talk about The Witcher 4. So yesterday, CD Projekt Red pretty much dropped a tech demo in partnership with Epic, with Unreal Engine 5, showcasing a little bit more of The Witcher 4. Now, to be clear, this is a tech demo. It is not gameplay from the game. They made that very clear in the video. This is more of a kind of an indication of the art direction that they're going in and what their ambitions are for the game. But they wanted to show sort of the power of the Unreal Engine 5, and they showed it running on a base PlayStation 5 at 60 frames per second. And I've got to say that, yeah, like this tech demo just completely and utterly blew me away. It looks phenomenal. Now, obviously, you know, I'm cautiously optimistic here. I'm not going to get myself too ridiculously hyped because, yes, we've had tech demos in the past. Games like Watch Dogs, for example, ring a bell. Even Cyberpunk 2077 and the demo that they showed off to us, there were a lot of changes that happened during the development, and the game that we got wasn't obviously the same as what we saw at the tech demo. So, you know, let's just kind of be excited for what we can see, but let's keep our excitement in check, guys, because this could change. We're still very early on in development for The Witcher 4, and obviously a lot can change between now and release date. But what we got to see was really encouraging. They were talking about obviously the power of Unreal Engine 5 and how they want to utilize that to really, you know, give the best open world experience that they can do for The Witcher 4. Now, The Witcher 3 wasn't open world per se. It was an absolutely massive game, but it more had sort of regions, you know, locations that you could fast travel to. And then each of those areas was a huge map that felt like an open world game in each area in and of itself, but you couldn't freely travel across the map. This may be an indication that in The Witcher 4, we are finally going to get that, which has me extremely excited. I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, it's probably going to be absolutely massive and absolutely huge. The visuals of what we saw were incredibly impressive. The colors were so vivid. The nature on display here, from the mountains to the dense foliage, looks absolutely gorgeous. And I'm a huge fan of the world and lore of The Witcher, so I'm very excited, you know, to be able to go to new areas and to explore new areas. Now, this tech demo that they showcased was actually playable. They were playing this at the actual demonstration. And obviously, we got to see a little bit more of Ciri. And I've got to say, she's looking really, really great. She looks fabulous, does Ciri. Love her armor. Love the style. We got to actually see her horse companion, which is Kelpie. And that made me really happy because Kelpie is a horse that she gets in the books. So I'm really happy to see that little detail there, that we're actually taking things from the books, and that, you know, they're going to be in the next game. So I'm very happy to see that. That's fantastic. And Kelpie is just a gorgeous black mare. She's an absolutely gorgeous horse, and very interesting as well. Actually wasn't originally Ciri's horse. She inherited it from someone, but I'm not going to say who, because we that may well be in the game. We don't know, and I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. But Kelpie is interesting because in the books, she can actually be summoned through a magical bracelet, which is interesting. So I wonder if they're going to have that in the actual game, whether they're going to showcase that. But she looks fabulous, and they were talking about how they wanted, you know, your horse companion. You're going to be traveling around a lot on horseback, I would imagine. So they've really put a lot of effort into the look and style, but also the physics and how how Kelpie looks when she moves, and obviously the feeling of that and it being grounded. But God, yeah, it just looks absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I'm huge fan, and I'm actually really glad that we're going back to third person. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed Cyberpunk 2077. I did really enjoy it, but I prefer third person when it comes to RPGs especially. So I'm very happy that we are getting an RPG with a third person perspective, and I'm really excited to play as Ciri. I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm super intrigued to see where her story is going to go. I am curious if she's a full-fledged Witcher at this point, because we can see her eyes are still very much the vivid green that we know from Ciri, and obviously she's unique in that way because of her elder blood. That's why her eyesight is so uniquely vividly green, because she's a source, and obviously all of the kind of magical power that she has, and we got to see that in The Witcher 3. But we can tell from her eyes that her eyes have a sort of cat-like look, but they don't have the yellow tint that other witches have, like Geralt, for example, or Vizimir. So I am very intrigued as to whether or not Ciri took the Trial of Grasses. Obviously, we've seen her using signs in previous trailers, and in the books, Ciri originally couldn't use signs. She lacked that ability in one of the books anyway. She had other abilities, but she was never able to use signs. So I'm intrigued to see whether or not she's just been able to kind of get more of a grip on her abilities, on her elder blood sort of magical abilities, or whether or not she did actually take the Trial of Grasses. And I think that would be really interesting, because obviously Geralt's always kind of been against that with Ciri, because obviously you can die, through the Trial of Grasses, and there are consequences to becoming a Witcher. You can't have children, and so it's a huge choice. It's a huge decision. So I'm intrigued to see whether or not this is a new type of Witcher, or I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm intrigued how they're gonna work it with the lore and everything. Still keep it kind of true to the lore, but obviously with a new perspective. We got to see one of the towns in it, and oh my god, the setting was just gorgeous. I loved the architecture of the town. I thought the architecture was actually very kind of Norse in its style, and I like nothing that we've seen, and I'm really intrigued to go and explore new areas. This is a completely new area that we haven't been to before, but CD Projekt Red, they know how to do cities well, and they know how to make these cities feel vibrant and lived in. They did a fabulous job in The Witcher 3 with areas like Novigrad, for example, that were huge, vast cities, and so I'm very much looking forward to like pockets of civilization and being able to sort of interact with NPCs. And it definitely seems like they're utilizing the Unreal Engine 5 to be able to have sort of more reactive AI to react to you more, so you feel like you're having an effect on the world, but that it's also it's reacting to you and you're reacting to it, and I'm very, very excited for that. And yeah, it looks really good. Also really loved to see that the guy that was carrying the basket of apples that you just kind of dropped in front of you, that for me is like a running RPG joke all the way back to the original sort of Assassin's Creed 2 and NPCs always running into your path. It's always a running joke, but so maybe we'll have little things like that. But yeah, it looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely fantastic. If this is concept for where they're wanting to go, for how sort of fluid they're wanting to make everything too, in terms of like transitions from gameplay also into cutscenes, which we got to see from sort of interesting perspectives where Ciri was kind of looking down. I'm intrigued to see just where CD Projekt Red can take their storytelling. I already love this world, its lore. I love the character of Ciri. I think she's fascinating. I think she's super interesting. And personally speaking, if you know the books and you know the lore, this definitely feels like a natural progression from obviously the story of Geralt you know, and then following through with Ciri. To be fair, it was always about Ciri, was the books and the story, and so I'm intrigued to see where they're going to go. And this for me feels like a very natural progression, and she's just a really cool character, and she's really interesting because Ciri, she's much more fiery than Geralt, and she really does. Geralt cares, but Ciri wears her heart on her sleeve, so to speak. She's a very different type of main character. So I'm intrigued to see what this Ciri is like, and I'm intrigued to find out what's happened, you know, since the end of The Witcher 3, in terms of continuing on. But yeah, like the tech demo absolutely blew me away. If the game can even like meet this, even like 80% or 70% of what we got here, I will be incredibly impressed. And really, I think they could even elevate on what they did with The Witcher 3, which has me incredibly excited. Now, I'm not under no expectation that this is coming out anytime soon. This is a tech demo, guys, so they are very early in production. So it's going to be a good 3-4 years away, if not further. But I hope we get to see more. I hope we will get to see more, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I think CD Projekt Red did already confirm that Geralt will make a cameo, will make an appearance in it, of course. Obviously, he won't be the main character, but he will make an appearance. And I would imagine we'll still get to see, hopefully, Yennefer make an appearance, and maybe other characters like Dandelion, you know, that we've come to love. But I'm also excited to meet new characters and explore new areas and new locations in the world of The Witcher. So yeah, tech demo, really impressive, but I'm not going to get too hyped. This is not the game, guys. This is not gameplay. This is a tech demo. This is just a kind of a vertical slice of what they're aiming for. And maybe it's also a way for them to kind of showcase for their development team what they're aiming for, where their goals are, to give a nice cohesive sort of vision for the game. And what there's there right now is looking really cool and really impressive. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing more and discovering more. But it's a tech demo. It's not gameplay. So let's sort of cautiously be optimistic, but let's not get carried away, because a lot could change in the next several years. But let me know what you guys thought of this tech demo in the comment section below. What did you guys think of it? What were you most impressed with? What are you hoping to see from the next Witcher game? Please do share your comments below. Let me know your thoughts. I will be live streaming tonight the Sony State of Play. Really looking forward to it. Kind of hoping we're going to see more on Ghosts of Yote and other things. I really want to see the new Wolverine, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to be revealed. But I'm looking forward to it. So please do hang out, jump into chat, hang out. Let's see what Sony's got to offer. And then I will be streaming all this week, Summer Game Fest obviously on Friday, and also the Xbox Showcase on Sunday as well. And depending on what is revealed, I will likely be doing some videos this week, along as well as working on my Claire Obscure review, most definitely. And then after that, oh man, it is hands-on for some Witcher lore, because I have so much lore that I want to share with you guys, particularly about Ciri to start off with. But yeah, I'm making lore content on The Witcher, and I'm excited to do so. So please look forward to it. Anyway, hope you guys have a great week, of course. Take care. And as always, happy gaming. I should go.